Hello, this is Vicki, and here's the things that you need. The only thing is missing is some white glue, so you can go back, pause those pictures. It's also a description down below. So you start with the dark blue, any color you want. It's going to be the very center of the flower, and it's about a ½ inch wide, and it's about 9 inches, 6 to 9 inches long, however wide you want the center to be. As you see, you fold it over and you squeeze it tight so it doesn't slip back and forth. Now I'm cutting the ends only halfway down, and when you turn it over, make sure you're cutting the same ends because otherwise it doesn't work. So you cut halfway through on the loops. Then you go down, and as close together as you can, you cut halfway down through the rest of the folds. When you get to the very end, you turn it over so you can get that last little bit at the end. And I'm using 18 gauge wire that's cloth covered. I like that because then I don't always have to cover the bottom part of the wire. And you turn over the top, squeeze it shut, and that is so that it doesn't slip on the wire when you put the paper on. So I put a little glue there. I'm having trouble with the little strings, you know, that come from the glue gun. So you start at one end, and you have the cut end off of the wire so that you're twirling the bottom part of the paper around on the wire. When you get to the very end, you take another little bit of glue right there to hold it down. What you're going to do, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to glue the bottom part around. So you go all around it with the glue, and then without pushing out any more glue, you spread it around to make sure it goes down into all of the bottom part, and that's going to hold that and make it sturdy. It's not going to be slipping or coming apart. Next is a bright yellow, and that's about 6 to 9 inches also. You can make it longer if you want this part of the flower to be lighter. Well, actually it looks about 15 to 18 inches. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide. You see, I'm squeezing it together really tight so it doesn't slip when you're cutting it. What I'm doing is I'm cutting a petal that's pointed at the end. Then I spread them apart so they're easier to grab when I'm putting them on the strip of tape. Now, if you cut the sides after you fold it, then you won't have to have these stuck together. But when you find them when they're stuck together, you just take the scissors and cut them apart. So this is Scotch brand double stick tape, It's extra strong and permanent. It says permanent on it, and I find it holds better. There are some cheaper other brands. I've got links to those below in the description where I buy them. Cheaper brand isn't going to stick as well, but if you put enough glue on them, and if you're going to be covering them later, they'll work that way too. So what I'm doing is on the wide part of the petal, I'm stretching it just a little bit so that the end bends over. The tip, the pointed tip, bends over. And I gather the bottom and I put them on the tape, halfway down the tape. Then I take another piece of tape and I'm putting over the top of it. And then when I lift it to the left side, I make sure that I'm lifting the bottom tape so it doesn't come apart. And I push it down onto the foam, which makes it attach strongly to the petals. Pulling it off, and you can see they're pointed over, and I'm going to put that to the inside so that it goes over the center, and I'm taping it around the very bottom edge of that center part. I'm just going around and around. Leave it there. You can make that part yellow wider if you want. So this is a 2-inch wide, and this is stiffer crepe paper, and I have a link down below where I get it, because these petals, they don't really curve, they kind of stick out. They're a little bit stiffer. 2 feet long. If you like them fluffier, you can make it longer. I'm gonna I'm gonna fold it into thirds. And I'm cutting the petal out again. To start with, I make it pointed at the end, just like the little yellow flowers were, the little yellow petals were. Tip, I make a letter V and cut inside it. To trim off any little edges that are sticking out. You can see I got a V at the end there. Then I'm going to spread them around so they're easier to pick up. Put the tape on the foam because it's easier to pick up. It doesn't stick permanently to the foam, where if I put it on the plastic, it would. So what I'm doing is I'm spreading apart the wide part of the petal, and then I'm running my thumbnail up the center to the end. Now, if you don't have a thumbnail that would work, you can use like a pointed skewer, and you can put it down on the foam and then run the skewer up the center, and this makes the petal into 2 rounded shapes. Then you go ahead and you put it the length of the tape. Then you take a piece of tape again and put over top of that. Down so it's connected strong to the petals. Pull it off. The roundy side towards the center, and that will be the top of the flower after you get it done, because afterwards you're going to be bending these petals down. So right now I'm just putting them around the same way I did the yellow flowers. So everything is level on the bottom. Now I have a few more petals, so I do a second row, the same as the first. I put the bottom tape a little longer, so I just folded it back on the petal so I didn't have to waste any tape. Then I look on the flower to see kind of an empty spot, and that's where I started. It doesn't really matter. And you go around again. Now I'm going to turn it upside down, and I put the glue around on the inside of the tape, because this tape will eventually loosen, whereas if you put the glue in there, and this is low temp glue, by the way, because I think hot temp glue you'd have to wait a few minutes before doing the next step, but the low temp glue is usually cool enough to handle in just a minute or two. So you push it around there, and then you're going to take a piece of tape, not very long, maybe 2 inches, and I got a little piece stuck there, and you put it halfway down on the other tape, and what you're going to be doing is gathering that at the bottom, and that'll squeeze that glue into that gathered part, and that makes it a nice shape for the other crepe paper to go on. Our green crepe paper. It's just a rectangular piece. It's as long as you want the stem to be, and I'm leaving the top plain, and I'm just going around where the tape is to cover up the tape. And I'm going to use some white glue. This is Elmer's glue. They have it clear drying and regular drying. I like to use the clear drying. So I go down one side, across the bottom, and then underneath the opposite corner at the bottom, and I'll fold that over first because that helps to keep the side on the left to go around the outside, the glued part to go on the outside. So I secure the top, and then I just twist it all the way down the stem. Now at the bottom there's usually a little strip that you need to glue. Now all you do is you take the white flowers and you fold them down, go around and around until you've got them all folded over. And you're folding them right on the edge of the tape. And there you go, you've got it. And you can kind of squish down the middle if you like that look, or fold them over a little bit. And there you have them. The Gerbera Daisy, and play with the colors. They come in all different colors. It's great for a spring arrangement. So I hope you enjoyed that.